Okay, good morning. How are you? It's a nasty rainy day in Colombia. I hope the weather's better up there. It's even cold down here because we've had roughly 2 days with absolutely very little or no sun at all in the area in which I live, which is Bayo, Medellin vicinity. You can go another hour in a different direction and it's all sun because of the mountains block the clouds from coming over or whatever. The wind is different. This is Colombia. You have within 100 miles you can have three different types of weather. Everything but snow. That only happens in the very high elevations. Uh, so it's the end of the vacation period, so everybody has to go back to work today. And I don't know whether the kids are back in school today. I know one of my friends, his daughter goes back the 19th to college, so I don't know what the situation is in the schools. I will tell you this. As a working individual, being off for 3 weeks, whatever it is, and you go back to work, and it's like this, overcast, rainy, drizzly, nasty, scummy day. That's about as depressing as it can be. You might as well stay home because no work's going to get done. People are just going to sit around and, fuck. That's just it is. That's the way it is. Okay. Let's see what happened. Okay, we had a football game last night. And Pittsburgh lost. What they said was the ninth time they've lost a playoff game. So their coach, I think, will be on the way out after this. Even though he's a great guy and he's a good coach and all that, and he's a winning coach, he just can't. He's having problems getting into the off season. Well, he had an old quarterback, and this quarterback showed he was old today. So you have to have a different blocking scheme when you're dealing with an old quarterback that has absolutely no mobility, and very limited arm strength. So can't blame him for this. I don't know who. He was better than Wilson. He's better than Wilson is, because the Giants didn't even play him, and they were desperate. So. Wilson would have a good game and then 6 bad games. So that's just, that's just life. What else can I talk about besides the obvious? Huh? That playoff game's coming up this Sunday, and unfortunately that's the day they're going to celebrate my birthday, which is, they have a tendency to really, 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 really piss me off when they do that, but there's nothing I can do about it. Let's see if we can find this. And they're also going to a restaurant that I've never been to before, so this is, really as fucked up as you can possibly be, but that's my family for you. They just don't give a shit. Okay, we have coming up Saturday, 4:30, Broncos Bills, 8 o'clock, Seattle Seahawks, 49ers. Then a 3 o'clock game is the Patriots versus the Texans. That might be a good game. Two young quarterbacks. I don't know. I'm kind of going with the Broncos. I hope to beat the Bills, but we'll see what happens there. Bears and the Rams. I would hope the Rams win, but you never know. And then we wait till the 25th. For the next game. And then the Super Bowl is February 8th. Okay? So I should be able to see both Saturday games. I won't get to see the Patriots and the Texans. That pisses me the fuck off. But what are you going to do? It's my family. I'm the only football fan in the family. Everybody says they're football fans. I'm the only really big football fan in this family. So That takes care of that. Now we have an extra 2,000, or an extra 1,000, whatever it is, anyhow, men going up to the Minneapolis, ICE agents. And from what I understand, that's going to outnumber the police department now in Minneapolis. So they think there's going to be confrontations. Of course there's going to be confrontations. That's what Trump wants. Trump wants to be able to send the army up there. He wants to declare martial law so that he can really screw with it. And that's not going to be just there. It's going to be nationwide. Nationwide martial law. Isn't that fun? That prick. Boy, I tell you, he's really, 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 really bad news, folks. And I don't know what to do or how to tell you how to handle yourselves in that situation, but that's what's going down. And that's what he wants, confrontation. Let's see, what else do we have? The Golden Globes, which I don't watch because it just, to me, is stupid. And I'm watching these people. This has always amazed me. This is like a wedding. Golden Globes are like a wedding. Women go out and spend outrageous amounts of money on a dress that they probably only wear one time, and either most of them usually sell them or donate them after the event. And since all these are custom-made dresses, you have to have money to have the dress, refitted for you. I mean, it's not going to fit anybody else. They're made to the exact measurements of the person that fits it. So, it's a little difficult to just pick up that dress and go. And you got 10 grand you want to spend on a dress to wear once. Come on, people. I've watched women spend $10,000 or more on a dress for their wedding. I had my second fiance come up to me and tell me that's how much the dress was going to cost. And I said, "You got the money? Because I ain't paying for it." Obviously, we didn't get married. There were other reasons too, but that was the big reason. That wasn't the biggest reason, but that helped tremendously. Who wants to, a dress you're going to wear one time? I've never understood that in women, and of course the church wants, a huge donation of at least $1,000 or $2,000, depending on what church you get, But you can go cheap, you can go to a little church on the corner, especially if it's a Catholic church, and they'll do it for you for maybe $400 or $500 in the donation. It's how you get, whether you get the mass with it or not, or you just go in, get married, and get the hell out. I've never understood all that for women. I shouldn't say I understand it. The families want it and everything like that, so you can show pictures later on. And why? The receptions I've been at start out very good and end up with with at least 2-3 drunks, at the end of it, falling down and doing stupid stuff. But I guess it's okay, to me, especially with my economic circumstances and the world's economic circumstances, I said the weddings can be put to the amount of money spent on dresses and weddings can be put to better use. All right, why strap a family? If you can afford it, who cares? But most people can't truly afford it, and they start off in debt. It's like coming out of college, with student loan debt. It's the same thing. And if you have student loan debt, if you're a young couple and you get married and you're coming out of college, you got student loan debt, and then you throw it, you spend 10 grand on a dress. Hopefully your parents will buy for it, but then they're in debt. They can't help you out later, if you need help. So I'd rather put give me the 10 grand and I'll use it for, to get a house or a condominium or something, the down payment anyhow. You know what I mean? But that's the way they do it. That's life. That's a social. That's what people do in this case. I can't really argue with it. It's what they want, But it just seems to me that they don't look at it in a good perspective. It's, well, Jeannie had this great wedding, so now I have to have this. I have to do better than Jeannie did. No, you don't. Take the money and buy a condo. Jeannie's living with her parents. You know what I mean? That's what you do. That's how you sell it. That's the way you should sell it, anyhow. All right. So getting back to this, away from the weddings and back to this ridiculous. Some of this clothes, I doubt. There's one in maybe 5,000 people that could make that dress look that good. And they go out and they buy it. They buy it at auction. They buy it. Some of them are donated to even the Salvation Army. So you can get that $10,000 dress for $200 or $300. But why? Where are you going to wear it? Especially if it's the so-called naked dress. Where are you going to wear it? First of all, it's going to cost you it's got to cost you a couple $100 to get it altered to fit you, assuming you have the figure that can do that. That's to me, that's not very smart, but that's what people do. I don't want to say that's what women do. That's what people do. Because guys are just the same way. Guys go out and spend $1,000, $2,000 on a tuxedo. Most guys that get married rent their tuxedos, because tuxedos are not something you wear every day. Okay, they're not. There's not many events, even formal events, that you wear a tuxedo to. There's like one or two, and wedding is pretty much. That's top. But if you're a celebrity, you've got other events you can wear a tuxedo to. The problem is you can't wear the same tuxedo twice. Didn't I see you in that old tuxedo last weekend? That's kind of, comments that get made. So again, these star events encourage the spending of money on one-use clothing, Why? It's like a Halloween costume. You're not going to wear the same one next year. First of all, they're harder. If it's really good, it's hard to store because it's pieces and it's makeup and everything else. And very seldom, if you've entered a contest or something, you're not going to win another. You're not going to win next year either with that. So Okay, so we have taken care of criticizing the. There's a word for it, I can't think of it, but the way people dress and everything, and the uselessness of truly expensive clothing. Not saying you can't look good and you can't buy, but you should make sure you're going to be able to use it more than one time. Now, talking about our main star, the President of the United States, he is pissing off everybody. There's supposedly 140 votes available for impeachment, but I have a question, and I'm going to put this question up on social media and everything. You impeach Trump. What's next? You're going to have J.D. Vance, so what do you expect to happen if you impeach Trump? The whole world changes? Now you've got a guy that's inheriting a empire. What do you expect him to do? No, we've almost reached a point where it's a French Revolution situation where we imprison all the elites and take them out and hang them. I don't want you to do that. I'm not even condoning that. But it's just in order to get the kind of change that people want, And people want this change, and I blame the internet for it, because they want this change like that, and it overnight. The next morning they expect things to be different. They're not going to be different for years. The situation we're in right now, it's going to take 10 years to straighten this country, put it back anywhere as near it was in terms of freedom and prosperity and lack of racism and all these other things that you see going on right now. Get everything back to what would be considered normal, and then we have to rebuild an economy based on I don't know what. All right, which is probably going to be built on artificial intelligence, which means there's going to be a few 100,000 people out of work. And that people are coming out of work out of college aren't going to be able to find jobs because artificial intelligence is going to have all the entry-level positions. Same thing in technical schools. Artificial intelligence and robotics will take over all the entry-level jobs. But people don't think that way. They sold a computer to the American public saying it would give us more leisure time, more free time. Now, at the time they did that, they began talking about that, most families, only one parent had to work. There's one-income families were pretty much a norm in the middle class. Now, you have to have at least 2 very good incomes to survive in the world. And to be in the upper middle class, or even try to get out of middle class, it's impossible. Okay, unless you inherited something, it's really, really impossible. So it's not going to be the way everybody thinks it's going to be. Oh, I don't know what to do. Well, anyhow, I'll tell you what I'm going to do. I'm going to sign off here, go make my live video, have a cup of coffee, play a couple of computer games, do some wood carving, have lunch, and go to bed. It's Tuesday. No sports tonight. I get to go to bed early tonight for a change and sleep, hopefully. So anyhow, everybody take good care of yourselves. Watch your health, everything like that. I'm sure tomorrow there'll be some really nasty shit in the news and everything like that. Because, you can't, you got an asshole that just can't go along and let things stay the way they are for a while. He has to be disruptive. Because if he's not disruptive, if he's not coming out with something new to piss you off, you're going to go after him for something he's already done. So he doesn't want that. All right, that's it for me. Hit that subscribe button. I guarantee it's going to get worse. So take care, and I'll see you tomorrow.